Hi, you're with Bear Friday Body Language, and this is another non-boxing video, so stay tuned if you love the boxing. We'll get back to it soon, I promise. This video is of, well, her name is apparently Zoella, but that's not really her name. I don't know her real name. This is by request. I had a comment requesting this specifically. Why am I going to do this video? Because I think it's fair to spread the net wider than just sports people and try and bring in a wider audience. And also, I think the content of this video will be a relatively important public service. And apparently Zoella is going to describe an issue she's got with her Christmas calendar. And we're looking to see whether she's telling the truth or not. Let's get into it.
Editing this vlog that you have just watched.
I haven't watched it, I don't watch any of her work, I'm not really aware of who she is. But I am aware of the general concept of lifestyle vloggers, and I know that their whole purpose is to try and manipulate their audience into buying products. They're basically marketing people.
And I thought I would put this little bit in at the end because there has been some upset, disappointed people in...
The first thing that I've immediately noticed is that she talks like a child. Now, that's not normal or natural. That's a kind of speech that she's affecting deliberately to take on a role of the quiet, good, little child. I'm the baby. You have to be nice to me. It's a very contrived personality trait. And she's swinging in her chair, turning away from the camera. Maybe she doesn't want to be doing this. Maybe she's a bit uncomfortable. But that also plays into that childlike role. Swinging on the chair. Don't tell me off, Daddy. I'm not naughty.
In the Zoella Lifestyle Advent Calendar, more specifically, the price of the calendar. And I didn't want to not address it because I want you guys to know...
I didn't want to not address it is a very strange way of talking. And when people use the word not in conversation like that, you can generally just remove it. It's a subconscious way. She's saying, I didn't want to not address it. And that it's just got the word not inserted there, so you are told what you're supposed to hear. But the truth is, I didn't want to address it.
I do care about how you feel about things, and the last thing I want to do is...
Now, that was true. She does care about how you feel about things. But why does she care? Is it because she cares about you, your feelings, your life? Or does she care about something else that's related to how you feel about things?
Is anger, upset, or disappoint anyone, because that is not my intention in the slightest. So I thought it would be weird for me to...
There was a sort of big exhalation of breath there. She's feeling anxious about that. Maybe upsetting, disappointing her audience is something she's worried about.
Kind of end this vlog like this, whilst there's people that are upset with the calendar price.
Now she makes it very clear there, and there's a jump cut. People are upset with the calendar price. I wonder if people are upset with simply the calendar price, or is it the factors that led to the price of the calendar? I don't know. But she's making it clear that she's only going to address the price of the calendar here. She's making it into an issue about the price of the calendar.
Calendar is something I've worked on for a year. I love the product.
Now this is looking into her emotional memory, so this does ring as true. However, I would argue that nobody loves any product. You love people. You can love animals. I don't know if you can love products. Love's a strong word.
I am all about the creativity. I'm all about getting it from...
That's a lie. I'm all about the creativity, and you can see here, there's this smirk. I'll move my mouse so you can see. There's this smirk developing here. That's dupe as delight. If you believe what she says, she's secretly happy that she's able to fool you.
From a design to a product. Where my input ends is there. Once that product...
Where my input ends is there. And she's kind of bringing her jaw back towards her neck. That's kind of uncomfortable, drawing away from the subject.
Once that product is done and I'm happy with it, the retailer can decide how much they sell that for. That's completely out.
And here again, that's completely out of her control, she says, giving this cross across her body and looking over to an area that we would link with deception. Very defensive.
Completely out of my decision making. I don't have the right to make those decisions. So,
and again, I don't have the right to make those decisions. And when she can't keep her gaze directly forward because she's lying, she looks down and away, and that smile reappears, that duper's delight. Now, I would argue that anybody who signs a contract with a company relating to product sales where they're going to benefit financially would have discussed the price of the product, the options for the price of the product. They certainly would have discussed how much money they get per product, either a percentage or a set price per product. So money will have been discussed, and she had the option to choose whether to sign a contract. So these are all things that are in her hands initially. If she didn't like the idea that somebody else would overprice her product, then she could have chosen not to sign the contract.
So it makes me so sad.
Here she is looking into her visual memory. Her hands are doing this interesting butting motion. So I would argue that the thing that makes her sad is something she's seen. Probably the comments, probably the conflict in the comments, that butting motion with her hands.
A product that I loved and worked hard on.
And here she's doing this claw motion with her hands. It's like an angry clawing motion, trying to keep hold of something. And you can see the fear in her face here. She's doing the believe me look. She's raising her eyebrows. Please believe me, I'm telling you the truth, which is an indicator of deception. But there's also a fear. You know, her eyes are dilated here. She's scared of something. And what's she scared of? Well, what's she doing with her hands? She's scared of losing control, losing her grip. And that's not losing control over the contract or the price of an advent calendar. She's scared that an issue like this could damage her reputation, and she's well aware that everything she's built on YouTube is precarious and fragile, and if she's seen publicly to be doing something dishonest or underhand, to be using her market, to be using her audience to make money in this way, she's scared that that truth could ruin her. Well, I suppose you'd call it a career, wouldn't you? You could call it a career. Her choice of her way that she makes money.
And that loads of you like the product.
Loads of you like the product. She's making that up, and she's going to make something else up now.
It is just having that product at the price that was out of my decision has left so many people so upset. And
so maybe it's not just the price of the product that's left people upset. Maybe there's something more to this issue, but she wants to keep it on the price.
And I feel just as let down by this also, and the price.
A little jump cut there. I don't know what she was about to say because she cut it out, but it was a lie. She's looking over to constructing in her mind. She's looking over to a place where basically she's giving signals of deception here. And her hands, again, they're protective, they're covering herself. But it's all about me, isn't it? It's all about her. At least this is a drama that's revolving around her. There's some comfort for her in that.
The price of any product is up to a retailer, and I know that there's some of you that might not have known that, so...
Now she's getting almost accusatory. I know there's some of you that might not have known that. It's almost aggressive, isn't it? But we all know that the price of a product does not have to be purely dependent on the retailer. It can also be a decision made by the interested parties.
So I wanted to come on here and explain that to you, because even my mum didn't realise that.
even her mum didn't realise that. I don't know what relevance that has, but she closes her eyes and these eyebrows are going. This is please believe me. She can't even look at you when she's saying it.
I don't want people to think that I'm like sat at home like counting £50 every time someone buys this calendar.
This is really interesting. She struggles to get her words out.
Think that
I don't want you to think that me, this sort of fake shock expression, and it is a fake expression. You can see that she's dropped her jaw, sort of creating a false overbite. There's still the smirk that she's trying to hide. So this false shock hides a smirk. And she's used to acting. She's used to putting on these faces, fluttering her eyelashes and, playing the role, the drama doll. So she's used to doing this, but she's constructing it. She's looking into a part of her brain for construct. She's acting here.
I'm like sat at home like...
And here she's looking into a memory. She's looking into the area of the brain that we would associate with truth.
Counting £50 every time someone buys this calendar.
So she's not counting £50 every time, but maybe her cut is slightly less than £50. But she certainly is sat at home counting every time someone buys the calendar.
Thinking that that was a conscious decision that I made.
Again, we've got this conflict of the hands. There's some butting conflict. Is this a conflict between her and the retailer? Or is it a conflict between her and the audience? And again, this fear comes through, even though she's trying to manipulate her expression. This wide-eyed fear comes through. She's scared that if she offends her audience, she's left with nothing.
To rip people off because...
Rip people off? This is interesting. She raised that. When you hear someone telling lies, quite often they get caught in their own story and they bring up things that maybe don't need to be said. Here she's bringing up the point about ripping people off. Maybe it's something that's come up in the comments. Maybe she's answering a direct point. Or maybe it's playing on her mind that she's ripping people off and it's just come out.
Counting £50 every time someone buys this calendar, thinking that that was a conscious decision that I made.
So it was a conscious decision. That's one thing that's true. We can see. This is her most natural piece of body language here when she says conscious decision.
Conscious decision.
So I think it was a conscious decision
that I made to rip people off, because if you know me...
And here again, the smile, the duper's delight. She can't hide the smile. And it's also because she's talking about herself again, her favourite topic. But this is construction. This is looking into an area of the brain where she's making up a story.
You know that there is...
And she did this automatic look. Oh, believe me. Oh, I'm so cute. Oh, very, very extreme facial expression, a very contorted facial expression. She's trying really hard to put herself across as the innocent, almost like a choir girl look. But don't believe that. People only really try really hard to look innocent when there's something they're trying to hide.
Know that there is not a bone in my body that would think that way.
Bones don't think, you think with your brains.
And it makes me so sad that...
And again, she closes her eyes twice here. She's got her hand held in a comforting but also guarded motion. Don't give away too much here. Don't show too much honesty. Closing the eyes because she can't actually look at you when she says it. And just before she says it makes her so sad, she looks up to the sky. It's an avoidance of eye contact, but it's almost a prayer. I hope they believe me on this one. And the one thing that we don't see is any expression of sadness.
But sad that...
In fact, there's a smile. That's her saying she's sad. Looks like a smile to me. The only thing she's sad about is the anxiety that this might cause her financial or reputation difficulties in the future.
That anyone would think that that was my intention.
And again, she slightly turns her face away here. She's thinking about the truth. This is her thinking about the truth, which is her intention. And then when she says, anyone would think that was my intention, which is a true statement, anyone would think that's my intention, there's a reaction from her body as her head tries to turn away.
I would think that that was my intention, because that is
And that look down there does not bode well for what she's about to say.
100% not my intention. My intention.
And again, we get the not. So it's easy to tell a lie. It's easy for me to say, it was not my intention, because it's the phrase, it was my intention, with the word not added in, to give an account of a completely conflicting mental process. A positive account of an intention would require a mental knowledge of that positive, true intention. But I don't think she has that mental knowledge of a positive, true intention. So she's thinking about her intentions and just telling you that's not the case. But her body's not saying the same as her mouth.
Was to make a product that I thought you guys would love.
Here we've got these hands again.
100% not my intention. My intention.
And it's slightly aggressive body language. It might seem that it's slightly open, but these hands come towards you in a sort of stopping you motion, hold you back.
My intention was to make a product that I thought you guys would.
And there's an imbalance here. Look, her hands are not straight together. They're pointed over to one side. Misdirection, pointing away. Just watch these hands one more time.
Because that is 100.
She holds her hands back. She doesn't want them to be singing here. She holds back this hand. What's she holding back?
100% not.
A kind of very, very... Now, people are going to argue with me here. They're going to say that's not aggressive. But it is. She's looking straight on. She's moving her hands forward in a sort of hold you back motion. There's one raised eyebrow in a sort of disgust or contempt or slightly aggressive poise.
My intention. My intention was to make a product that I thought you guys would love.
And again, the believe me look is back now. Please believe me.
Which I still think is a product that I think.
And the smile here. She looks away. This is again, is she searching her memory here, her honest memory, or is she just avoiding eye contact while she says something that even she can't quite believe she's saying?
Think you would love. It's just been completely ruined by a decision that I didn't make.
And this is really one of the most important things as well. I mean, I'm doing quite a lot of stopping and starting here, aren't I? But she's giving us a lot to go on. Again, she's looking away into her creative mind to make up some stories. But the main thing that I want to point out here is that it's blame shifting. Now, someone who is being deceptive or someone who's guilty will often attempt to shift the blame from them to someone else. So it wasn't my fault. So they're not contradicting the fact that it happened. They're not saying this didn't happen, I'm innocent. They're saying this did happen, but it wasn't my fault. And that is very much a indicator of deception, because they've acknowledged the fault, they've acknowledged the issue, but they just won't take the blame.
And
this is where she's searching and think of something to say, make up a story that backs up what I'm saying.
it's so frustrating.
It's so frustrating. Well, why aren't you looking frustrated then? Why are you smiling? And why is this... Again, this is probably what she was thinking about, is how... Zoella, I'm not an expert on her, but she seems to do this Barbie body language of fake poses. It's probably stuff she's actually practiced in the mirror. This one is, she thought about it, she constructed it. How am I going to look the most innocent, and how am I going to look the most honest and make sure that people believe me? Well, since her mind and the way she thinks is very much about image, you know, that's a very shallow way to look at life, but it is how she looks at life. Her first thought, her idea on how to convince you that she's telling the truth is to give you a visual image.
It's so frustrating.
And that visual image is her trying to mask a smile and create this sort of dolly girl. I don't know. These people are so confused. I feel a bit sorry for her. You know, in life, things that are really important are people, your family, your loved ones, your relationships. If you're successful in life, it's not always through hard work. Hard work is really important, but the way our society works, there's a lot of other ways to be successful without working particularly hard or without being particularly honest. But if you are successful in life, I believe it's important to share that success, to encourage people to do charitable work, maybe do charitable work yourself. And I find this whole culture of me and I'm buying stuff and look at the stuff I'm buying, you might want to buy it too. I find it all a bit distasteful. Certainly this girl has the power to speak to many more people than I do, and she uses her power to sell them £50 calendars and then try and convince them it wasn't her fault, it was somebody else. But she definitely signed the contract, she definitely engineered the whole process. You know, she was part of that process, and she's now trying to convince you that she was just unaware. This is a sophisticated person who was able to construct a YouTube channel with many, many viewers through marketing techniques. So I'd be surprised if she wasn't aware of the way marketing works.
My input in this is creative.
Again, a lie. Her input in this is marketing.
It's coming up with new ideas. It's new, like, cool packaging concepts.
And this is where she's looking into her memory to give us the truth.
It's new scents. It's new things we can do.
And she's telling you the truth there, which is that her input is marketing. I think when you think about packaging and scent and things like that, it's about marketing, isn't it? It's about sales.
It's coming up with new ideas. It's new, like, cool packaging concepts. It's new scents. It's new things we can do.
And that, she just can't even think of another thing. She's trying to think of another thing. But maybe her input in this is literally that limited to packaging, marketing, and maybe they don't even listen to her ideas. But she's clearly looking quite stressed here. She's finding this all a bit difficult. She's worried.
And it's like testing formulations, and it's all those things. That's where...
She doesn't test the formulations, does she? They test those on animals, I would imagine.
I get involved in this, and I'm very heavily involved in that, and I love it.
She's not very heavily involved. I mean, her body language doesn't say so. Now, I haven't watched all of her vlogs. I haven't watched them at all. But if you've watched her vlogs, tell me, are her vlogs full of her market research, testing formulas? Is she always thinking about ideas and scent? You know, is that her role? Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe it is.
And I love it. Like, I'm currently, on my desk in front of me, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And this is a distraction now. This is like a naughty girl who's being told off by her daddy, and rather than address the issue, she's managed to talk about something slightly different. And even now, she can't look at you, she's smiling as she deceives.
6, 7, about 8 products that I am currently testing. And
I would guess there's probably 2 or 3. And that closed hand, again, it's this aggressive body language that being in it, little child, I'm a little girl, will switch into aggressive very quickly. That's what we call a temper tantrum. Now, she doesn't want to have a temper tantrum on camera, but I would warrant this girl has many off camera.
And making sure are right for you guys. And I don't get to talk about these things that much because I don't know how much you'd be interested in the process of these things, but also if some of these don't go ahead, then I don't want to like talk about them in case they don't happen.
She knows that you won't be interested in the process because she's building a market of pliable consumers who are not so much interested in process, more in facade and outcome and what your face looks like when you put the stuff on it, rather than the animals who are abused to make the stuff go on your face. So there was some honesty in that, but again, it's kind of not relevant.
And these things take years to get right.
That's not true, is it? Now we're really into the realm of, like, look at that face. You know that's a liar, don't you? It's the smile, the clenched teeth now. She's now talking through clenched teeth. Like, she's looking over to construction. It takes years to get these things right. So she's been working on an advent calendar for years. Come on.
And
again, she can't think of what to say. She's making it up as she goes along here. She's searching for things that she can say because she doesn't want to just tell you the truth.
that's all I can do. And past that point, it's handed over. It's like a baby that's handed over.
Is it? It's like a baby, this advent calendar. She cares about it that much. It's not just some piece of shit tat that she wants to sell at Christmas to bolster her bank account. She thinks this advent calendar is like a baby. And this hand motion here is not one of sharing. This is begging, isn't it? You recognise that body language there? Begging.
Over to somebody else, and then,
Oh, it wasn't my fault. Oh, the bad men at the marketing company did it. Oh.
they get to choose what they do with that. And I think
It's interesting because the colour changes. So she spent some time looking on the computer in between jump cuts there, and her eyes are slightly watery. Maybe she's looking at information that's offended her or upset her. Maybe it's the trolling comments. Maybe it's the concern that she's got for her own ego, that this might destroy her. Maybe she's really worried and concerned. Maybe she's been looking up some legal information, or maybe she's just been refining what she wants to tell you. But something's changed there, hasn't it?
I think after seeing some people's feedback on this, it's quite obvious that the decision that was made by the retailer was...
Again, this is the feedback then. This is the comments. And for somebody who lives their life and puts so much stock into the market's validation of their character, it must be a little hard to see all these people calling her out on her bullshit. And the upsetting thing about that, I believe, is that it's true. And she's really scared she's being found out.
was the wrong decision, and I'm sure that they will take that information and they will take this on board. I really hope that this has made sense.
It's all just bullshit, isn't it? Like, if you believe that a marketing company is entirely responsible for the problems Zoella has trying to sell her £50 calendar, then you're probably the sort of person who'll go and buy a £50 advent calendar, aren't you? Instead of buying maybe a £5 advent calendar and giving some money to charity.
To you,
And here as well, actually, she's playing with her hair, isn't she? This is what she's doing here. She's switched in. She can't keep this up anymore. She's been talking about this issue for more than 3 minutes, and she's now bored of it. She wants to play with her hair. She wants to do things that make her feel good, and she's back to self-comforting.
it's a really difficult process to explain. Like, there's not just like me and then like 3 people that like
she's going over old ground because she doesn't feel she's given enough of a valid explanation. And she's trying to say, well, you just can't explain it. It just can't be explained. But that's because it can only not be explained if you need it to be explained in a way that makes you look good. It can easily be explained if you're willing to be honest.
do these. There are teams and teams of people, teams that are not my teams.
Shaking her head throughout that. She doesn't know how many people work on this. She just made that up.
The licensing and the retailer and the production, there's a lot of people.
And now she's patronising you, treating you like an idiot. Don't you realise how many people work on this? It's not me. Hands up. Hands up. It's not me. I didn't do it.
You know, I don't sit at home like packing it all myself and
No, you don't do the work yourself.
sending it out to you and the money comes straight into my PayPal. That's not what happens. That's not how it works.
And the upset is coming here, the tears are coming, the tantrum is maybe about to start. And here we get this little smile and the aggressive fist again. The money's not coming straight into my PayPal. But that's the bit that makes her smile. That's the aim. There's the fist. Closed fist. Maybe it's holding the money, maybe it's aggression. Let's just see that again.
It all myself and sending it out to you and the money comes straight into my PayPal. That's not what happens. That's not how it works.
That's how it's supposed to work, isn't it?
Myself and sending it out to you and the money comes straight into my PayPal. That's not what happens. That's not how it works.
And it's almost aggressive again, isn't it? And it's that believe me look. And again, a big smile. A big smile when she's thinking about that money coming into her PayPal.
It's really complex and there's a lot of people and there's a lot of decisions and not all those decisions are mine to make.
And this is the blame shifting again. So the decisions aren't hers to make. It's not her fault. There's one raised eyebrow. There's a slight raised. There's a cheeky smile here. So there's this feeling of superiority here. And again, the self-touching, the hands across her own chest. She quite likes herself, doesn't she? And she feels superior in this position.
And the price is one of them. So I'm really sorry that so many...
This concerns me. She's really sorry. But that's not a face of sorrow, is it? That's almost a face of anger. I don't know if she's sorry or angry.
Not all decisions are mine to make, and the price is one of them. So
it's worth noting as well that those decisions that aren't hers to make, and the price being one of them, they're certainly decisions that she would have been party to. They'd have been in the contract. Everyone that creates products with marketing companies, that acts as a marketer, I'm pretty confident that she would have addressed the contract, discussed the price point, negotiated how much money she would be getting per unit. So whilst the final decision may not have been hers to make, she would have been party to that decision-making process. But she's just trying to blame shift.
So I'm really sorry that so many of you felt so let down by this product.
Again, the swinging of the chair, the cutesy girl look.
I really hope that this kind of clears that up for you, because there's a lot of people that think I chose that price, and
this is really interesting, isn't it? She can't help but go over it again.
Clears that up for you, because there's a lot of people that think.
And this face, it's glee, isn't it? Look, there's a smile, her eyes are slightly dilated, and she's looking over. This is actually an honest response that she's giving us. She's looking into her memory, and the smile, the glee. When you're lying, when somebody's lying, they have this going around in their head. They have the lie repeating in their head, the thing they don't want to say. Like, don't think of an orange penguin makes you think of an orange penguin. It's going around in her head, and her body, her subconscious, her instinct naturally wants to tell the truth and be happy about it, or be happy in the deceit. She's happy, and she says this. So this is about to be one of her most honest statements.
For you, because there's a lot of people that think I chose that price, and
it's interesting, there's a disconnect between, there's a lot of people that think I chose that price. She lingers over the I because that's her favourite thing herself, but it's the most honest answer. So maybe she did choose the price.
I chose that price.
If you just took that sentence, the way she looks in that response, you'd say, that's honest. I chose that price. At least that's my opinion.
And that I don't care.
And that's something that follows it up. I don't care. She does care, but does she care about you? Or does she care about her own reputation? The chance that this could spoil her success? She is concerned, but where does her concern lie?
And that I'm doing it for the money, and
again,
doing it for the money.
Doing it for the money. Why are you doing it? Because you feel the world would be better with £50 advent calendars?
And that makes me so...
She can't even look at you when she says this.
sad, because...
Makes her so sad.
Because that's not who I am.
And a jump cut. So whatever was coming here, the fact that it made her so sad. And again, we've got this believe me look, and another tactic of the spoiled little girl is to throw a tantrum, to cry, to be sad. Oh, okay, I'll get you. Don't be sad, I'll get you what you want. So she's trying out, she's sort of going through her toolbox of character displays in order to get what she wants.
That's not who I am. That is not why I do this.
That's not who I am. That's not why I do this. Well, she does do it for the money. We all know that. That's obvious. She's almost holding this dungaree strap thing, like some sort of parachute. Like she's holding on to the thing that makes her feel safe. And she's thinking here of an honest thing to say.
If you know me, you know that.
Well, that's silly, isn't it? If you know me, you know that. I mean, we can only judge people on their actions, not what they tell us their reasons for their actions were. And we've got this cutesy face, this smile. She can't help the smile. You don't really know me, is what she's thinking there. And she's happy about that. She looks a little bit manic, doesn't she? A little bit unhinged, those eyes.
There's no point me rattling on about that. I'm not here to justify myself as a person.
She's not here to justify herself as a person. So let's not get into her personality. Maybe she's afraid that if she did try and discuss her personality, then maybe there'd be more things to concern her while she's trying to build her constructed image. But she's trying to make sure it's not about that. It's about this £50 calendar. But the truth is that all that stuff, all the reasoning, everything that's gone on with the £50 calendar has come from her character and decision making as a person.
Because you either know me or you don't, and this is just a rubbish situation that hopefully a lot.
And again, we're going into making up stories again here, swinging the chair, deflecting, avoidance.
A lot of people can learn from. That's that. I hope that's cleared that up for you. Thank you so much to all of you who...
And more posing. A very guarded posture here. You know, that doesn't look like somebody who's just given us their open and honest account, does it?
Who support the brands and...
Support the brands. I would urge you not to support brands in your life. Brands do not need your support. They're looking for your money. Charities need your support. People need your support. Brands don't. And again, she's constructing. She's just doing this on the fly, trying to think of something to say that's going to bolster her side of the discussion. It's not coming from an honest place, it's construction.
Have voiced your concern in a more calmer manner. I have really, really appreciated it. So yeah, that's it for now, but thank you for listening, and I will see you again very soon.
And there's that pursing of the lips. She's not going to say any more about this. It's obviously upset her. It's shaky ground. She doesn't feel confident about that. She's turning away, doing the swivel chair as she reaches for the camera to end this. And the concept of ending it is also bringing a smile to her.
Bye.
So that was Zoella, and I said in a previous video that I'm not here to denigrate or attack people, so I don't know her as a person. I'm only judging the body language from this account about the £50 calendar, and it doesn't ring true to me. It seems like somebody who's trying to spin stories, to use their manipulation techniques to get you to believe what they say, to buy into their concepts. And the reason that she's using those manipulation techniques is because her lifestyle is financed by them. So I hope this has helped some of you to decide whether you should or should not buy into her calendar or any of her bullshit. If you're a Zoella fan and you've hated everything I've said, then I'm sorry, I'm not making a personal attack on the girl, I don't know her. If you like the content, click like and subscribe. Leave comments. I won't reply to any of them.